What's up, guys? Good morning. It is Jonathan with One Big Impact. I want to talk about trends and things that are trendy as far as, well, we could say this on any matter of platforms. It could be clothes, it could be exercise, it could be literally anything out there. One of the biggest trends is going to be diets. Another big trend is going to be like fitness. Sometimes people will be obsessed with like abs, and everybody's going to come out with these different scenarios in which you can achieve your abs and 6-minute abs and all of these things. Then you're going to see things like people trying to convince you that this diet or that diet is going to help you, an egg fast, water fast, all these things, okay? I see them all the time. I would like to say that, first of all, if you're jumping on a trend or a bandwagon, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but what you do have to remember is you have an umbrella, and the umbrella is, so you're the person under the umbrella, right? Your umbrella encompasses, including you, is basically all of your goals and everything in which you're trying to achieve. And then you have all these trends that are going to hit like water spots all over the top, like it's raining. It's pouring down with all these trends and these different things that people are pushing upon you, and different exercise equipment and all kinds of things. And I'm not saying necessarily it's a bad thing to try new things, but what I am saying is that I want you to remember that you have an ultimate goal and you have an ultimate idea of whether it's being healthy or being focused on trying to lose weight. Really, whatever that is in which you're trying to achieve, you can't lose sight of that. I see a lot of people go for Atkins when it's trendy. I see a lot of people doing keto right now. Keto just a couple years ago was not even a real thing, meaning it was a real thing, but like real big thing. It wasn't a real big thing. If you were keto, it was like, oh my gosh, it was so macabre. But now you talk about it and you hear about it, you know, whether it's in the stores or at restaurants or in the gym, you hear a lot of different people doing different versions of it. Paleo, Atkins, keto, vegan, a lot of those things. Now, I want you to cut a hole in your umbrella every once in a while and let something slip through. But remember that you can be experimental with a lot of things, but don't lose track of your ultimate idea in order to be the healthiest version of yourself. Because a lot of the times what happens, and it's happened to me and it happens to a lot of people out there, is that you get fixated on this new trend or this new thing that's going to work. It could be if it fits your macros, it could be flexible dieting, it could be any of those things. The reality is, it's okay to try new things, okay? It's okay to experiment, because what works for your body or mind one day, next week or next year may not work, and you may need to try something fresh and new, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But what you also have to remember is, if it doesn't work, seal up the hole back in your umbrella and hide safely, and understand that whatever you're working on needs to stay consistent, okay? So, for instance, an example of understanding this. Say you're doing keto, right? And ketogenic diet, and you do it for 6 months, and then you start realizing you're falling off, you're eating pizza, you're doing this, you're doing that, and you start gaining weight back. So that's the point in which you let keto in through that little hole, you tape up that hole, and then you realize, okay, hone it back in. Regardless if you're eating pizza or something like that, you probably know that that is not something that you should be including. Okay, so get rid of that. It doesn't mean you have to go keto if that was causing an issue, but you have to reevaluate your progress and say, hey, okay, I lost 50 pounds doing keto. Maybe I could try something similar like Atkins or Atkins 40 or something that gives me a little bit more flexibility. Or do I need the flexibility, or am I just using the flexibility in my mind as a reason or purpose in order to be able to get off track? Because I am the worst possible culprit of this type of mindset. We will say things like, I can't do this because it's not sustainable. I cannot, and that's a common one. That has never been one for me. Realistically, I think it's sustainable. Anything sustainable that you want to be sustainable. But something like, this is a common one for me, I need a cheat day. I need to incorporate carbs, this and that. I need to refuel my glycogen, blah, 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 blah. And I'm getting better at it, to be honest. I'm getting better at the ability to be able to shut it down and only use it when it's necessary or when I absolutely have to have something. But I will say that that's really common. I need carbs. I need this. I feel flat. I feel like I'm not getting what I need for exercise. I don't have the energy. I don't have this. I need carbs. I need blah, 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 blah. All kinds of shit comes out. Like, all kinds of reasons. And the problem with that is we don't mindlessly go into those things. So when I say I need carbs, if that were true, if that were the truth, okay, then I would go directly for white plain rice or a regular potato. Okay, it's usually not the case. Usually the things that we go for are cakes, sweets, cookies, cupcakes, pizza, spaghetti, all those sweet and savory foods that we unfortunately have built an unhealthy relationship with over time. And we've used them, whether it's to get through stressful times or emotions or whatever. So saying those things is one thing, but going into it unplanned is an absolute derailer. You're basically going to a train track, a train's coming, you cut the freaking lines, you pull them out of the way, and you hope for the best. You know exactly what the hell's going to happen. Like, that train without a track, in order to be able to follow, is literally just going to plummet right into the dirt, crash, burn, and be a hell of a lot worse than what it was before. So if you start saying those things like, I need to incorporate this, I need to incorporate that, there's nothing wrong with trying different things and re-entering a life of like having carbohydrates and stuff like that. But I'll tell you right now, you damn straight need to put a plan in gear. If you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail. If you go from no carbs to full-on carbs, you're going to gain weight, you're going to get fat. It's just the way it is. I know it's a crappy way of saying it, but I don't care because it's the truth. Now, if you're jumping on trend to trend to trend, and I see you, okay? I see you because it happens to a lot of us. I see you low carb this, low carb that, low carb this for a year or two, and then I don't see you anymore. I know what you're doing, okay? You've probably started to eat poorly again, and you can't get back on track. It's purely a mental game, guys. It's purely a mental game. Don't do things because they're trendy. Do things because they're really good for your body, okay? We're only going to get one body. And you know what? Really commonly, people will say, well, I can't stay on this. Or they'll say, low carb isn't working for me, or this is not working for me, that's not working for me. Have you ever heard the term, if you don't have another job, don't quit your current one? Because what happens? If you have a lapse in pay, there's no way to be able to pay the bills, fall apart, you end up homeless, this and that. You end up worse than where you would be if you just kept the crappy job. So if you have a crappy diet or a crappy way of eating or whatever, and you're kind of hemming and hawing back and forth about what to change and stuff like that, Do your research. Get your other job. Get your other food lined out. Get whatever it is that you're trying to change to figured out first, 100,000%. Work with somebody, do whatever you got to do to make sure that you don't set yourself up for absolute failure. Because saying something works and then just randomly going to eat whatever is going to be a hell of a lot less effective than if you were to just stay on exactly what you're doing. Because maybe you're not losing weight. Maybe you need to reevaluate your goals or whatever. But I assure you, not losing weight is a hell of a lot better than randomly going to eat garbage for a month or two and then realizing, and you know damn well you were up to, I seem to have gained weight back. What an accident. It's not an accident, it's bullshit. You need to prepare for those type of things, or else you literally are setting yourself up for failure. You guys, think about what you're doing. Don't jump on trends. If it's a trend to you, fine, that's fine. But jump knowingly and know what you're going into with the next thing. Don't just blindly go from thing to thing to thing, because you're going to get off track and you're going to be worse off than what you were before. You guys, be stronger than your excuses. Remember to spread love, not hate. Drink your damn water. Stay on track. Have a beautiful day. Be careful of trends, okay? Because a lot of people are going to try to sell you things. It's not about that. All right? Have a good day.